We have sources, apparently, at CHGO. We've learned a little bit more about the current process of Justin Ishbia increasing his stakes in the Chicago White Sox. I will tell you about that over the next 30 minutes. Bye. I say bye. CHGO White Sox podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago, being produced today by my pal, Joey Spathis. We have friends like Southpaw here, and also, I guess they're kind of blocked, Mark Burley and Luis Robert Jr. All of my friends are here. We even got some buddies back here. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We are here 3 days a week for you White Sox fans, 30 minutes a show. We're hopefully going to be here every Sunday with a post-game, and I think we're going to be here every Thursday, either with an off-day show or a post-game show during the regular season. It's either going to be Monday or Tuesday for that third day, and that stuff will likely happen on a week-to-week basis, but make sure that you are sticking around. Hit that like button and make sure you are subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. On today's show, we'll be talking about the Justin Ishbia developments that we have found out here at CHGO and telling you what it all means. Has anything happened? Honestly, no. I mean, Jerry Reinsdorf still owns the White Sox, or at least still has ownership of the Chicago White Sox and ownership stake, and he's still the chairman. He's still calling the shots. So is Justin Ishbia the owner? No. He currently, along with his brother Matt, owns a little bit of stake, a mid-single-digit part of stake. But what we are finding out is that the limited partners have agreed to sell. So as long as Major League Baseball approves, Justin Ishbia should be increasing his stake. I'll go more into the nitty-gritty in just a second. We'll also talk about Colson Montgomery's back. I'm worried. I think you should be as well. And then finally, Kevin Durant. Is he a Sox fan or not? We'll talk about all that here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. So yesterday I tweeted out that most of the limited partners that were approached with the February 28th deadline to either sell their shares for this incoming partner. I believe the letter that was sent to these limited partners did not include the name Justin Ishbia. It was just referred to as an investor. What The Athletic learned and what that entire article was that they learned that the investor was Justin Ishbia and that he would be abandoning his Minnesota Twins pursuit to become their owner and has now been approached by Jerry Reinsdorf for this opportunity. What they are waiting for is Major League Baseball to approve this deal. But what John Greenberg said, and Dan Hayes as well from The Athletic, reported that the limited partners for the Chicago White Sox faced a February 28th deadline to either not sell, and they wouldn't be diluted, or to sell their shares at a $1.8 billion valuation. Most of the limited partners, there were a few holdouts, they have decided to sell. So what that means is however percentage the limited partners of the Chicago White Sox own, Justin Ishbia will be receiving a large majority of those limited partner shares. We'll talk about what limited partner means. I don't know the percentage that he now owns. We can make speculations and throw that out there. I don't know a number. I don't know Jerry Reinsdorf's official number. I have some stuff that we found from Cranes laying around that Jerry has said. But what this leads the path to is Justin Ishbia increasing his ownership, and at some point, when either Jerry Reinsdorf decides to sell or he passes away and Michael and Jonathan and the Reinsdorf family decide to move on from the Chicago White Sox, Ishbia, I believe, will get the first chance to buy those controlling stakes.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
It's not that serious.
Not yet.
I mean, like, You could have called him on the 21st. We did an emergency podcast on the 21st for this news. We're not doing an emergency podcast. I'm just doing a short from my car. But here, let's get into what we knew. On January 13th, Sportico said that the Ishbias, both Matt and Justin, invested into the White Sox back in 2021. This was a mid-single-digit share that they invested in. Then on February 21st, Hayes and Greenberg reported their initial report that Justin Ishbia is the investor that White Sox Limited Partners were approached by, saying you can sell to this new investor or choose to not be diluted and keep your shares. What we learned, again, was a majority of the limited partners decided to sell. There were some holdouts, but what I would say is Ishbia won't gain full 100% of the limited partners, but he probably will gain 70% of the shares that were available from White Sox limited partners. I believe he got the majority of those families to decide to sell. The weird thing about all of this, and the whole thing that people aren't really understanding, is if he owns more of a percentage than Jerry Reinsdorf, how is Justin Ishbia not the majority owner? What Ishbia is buying is the limited non-controlling shares of the Sox. Right now, from what I believe, from what I have heard, I would say that a large percent or possibly all of the controlling shares are owned by Jerry Reinsdorf. I don't think it's too off to assume that he, when he bought this in 1981, had a controlling partner in Eddie Einhorn. I believe that he bought the controlling share from Eddie Einhorn and is the guy. So Jerry Reinsdorf can own 0% outside of the non-controlling shares, but as long as he owns the controlling share, which could be 2% of the entire share, he is the chairman. Jerry Reinsdorf is the White Sox chairman currently, and he will be the chairman until he decides to get rid of his controlling shares. So what Ishbia is doing, and it is the process of doing, and now needs to be taken to Major League Baseball, is can Justin Ishbia be approved for these non-controlling shares? What it all means is we got to wait. Justin Ishbia is in the house and has been in the house since 2021. So it's a good person to know. It's a good thing that Jerry Reinsdorf has broken down to this point where he's approaching Justin Ishbia. We talked back in October, November that Dave Stewart was interested in buying the White Sox, that Jerry Reinsdorf even said that he's not interested in selling the White Sox. It just seemed like there was a little bit of a cat and mouse game being played between Ishbia and Reinsdorf. Ishbia has been here since 2021. And I bet the Reinsdorfs were very well aware of their interest in owning a baseball team and their interest in the Minnesota Twins. And it seemed like both Ishbia was leveraging the Twins against Jerry, and it seemed like Jerry was trying to both leverage Dave Stewart and the fact that he owns the controlling shares over Ishbia. I think this led to Jerry allowing Ishbia to pursue the non-limited partners, and that's what we're seeing right now. Melissa saying, I don't understand why he's so damn secretive about what he owns and doesn't. Is this the case with other owners? Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's clear, but most of the stuff gets clear when the deal's done. Like, there's nothing really to talk about right now. Jerry Reinsdorf's the chairman, and that really will not change. Jerry Reinsdorf can own as little percentage as he wants. It does not matter as long as he owns the controlling shares. From even what I heard, I thought the assumption would be that if Justin Ishbia in the future provides capital for the 78, decreases the give from state money, federal money, to that project, allowing Springfield to approve that because you have more capital funding that project than state money, and they can agree that, hey, we're giving less money. It's going to be the 78th neighborhood. This is going to bring in capital for the city, but also we're not footing 100% or even 50% of the bill because Ishbia's got capital. My assumption was that if he's providing the capital for the 78 or part of that capital for the White Sox, along with Jerry, who said he was going to include $200 million of like a $2.4 billion project. So like, you know, a drop in a bucket. But I thought if Ishbia provided that capital, he would be able to increase his stakes. Doesn't even sound like that because, again, what needs to happen is Jerry Reinsdorf needs to sell that controlling share or his controlling shares. So it's not even really secretive. I don't think Jerry Reinsdorf, what does it matter if Jerry Reinsdorf owns the 19% or like the 30%. It doesn't matter. He owns the controlling shares. But anyways, Scott Reifert did comment on this, and I think this is going to lead into more of how, what we know about this situation and kind of the black and white of how this has played out underneath our nose a little bit. Reifert said to The Athletic back on February 21st, similar to an opportunity in 2021, White Sox limited partners have received an offer from a third party. The Athletic learned that third party was Ishbia, to purchase their shares in the team, providing liquidity for the limited partners on their long-term investment in the club. Reifert continued by saying this offer to limited partners has no impact on the leadership or operations of the Chicago White Sox and does not provide a path to control. Why? Because Jerry Reinsdorf's not selling his controlling shares. So that makes that out. But the previous part of 2021, Cranes posted this, that the Chicago White Sox, that Jerry Reinsdorf's children wanted a stake in the Chicago White Sox. This was Danny Eckert back on March 4th. Hey, Chicago's birthday. 2021, 1 year before CHGO launched. And what Danny reported was that in a move that could boost the family's collective ownership of the club, a venture led by Michael and Jonathan Reinsdorf has made an offer to the team's minority investors to buy non-controlling shares of the franchise, according to a letter Jerry Reinsdorf sent earlier this week to the team's limited partners. Reinsdorf's letter says, over the years, several limited partners have sought to sell their White Sox partnership interests, and in many cases, they've been able to sell to other partners. These sales have been infrequent. Recently, I've become aware that additional partners are seeking liquidity because of the death of the partners or to accomplish various estate planning goals. My adult sons, Michael and Jonathan, are a part of a small but well-funded and credible investment group that wishes to purchase White Sox limited partnership interests. These potential transactions will not impact the operations of the White Sox, that there is no financial interest in these potential transactions for Jerry Reinsdorf, and that Jerry will continue to be the chairman of the general partner and as the MLB control person of the team. He didn't talk about what the buyer group was willing to pay, and he's not making a recommendation to partners on whether or not to accept the offer, but basically this is the offer that is being presented to them, and Jerry Reinsdorf explained that. From what we understand, part of what they bought, Michael and Jonathan, they then decided to sell that to Justin Ishbia to bring new blood into the organization. And obviously that new blood, 4 years later, has possibly turned into a pathway to a new owner down the line. So that's what we know. If there were partners, limited partners, that decided not to sell, I did say that they were facing dilution. They're not facing dilution. That's per The Athletic. I had that wrong. But my whole goal in this was just to follow up on the deadline. The Athletic had that deadline of the 28th. There's not a lot of White Sox news. I asked around, and there you go. It seems like the path for Justin Ishbia to increase his stakes is now dependent on Major League Baseball approving it. Do we know when Major League Baseball is going to convene to approve this? No. Do we know when all this is going to happen and Justin Ishbia is going to control the White Sox? No. But we know a little bit. Again, what we don't know, Jerry's total number of shares. Forbes reported that Jerry Reinsdorf owned 19% of the Chicago White Sox, but when recently speaking to Cranes, Jerry Reinsdorf claimed that his ownership is, they put this in quote, more than 19%. Again, going back to that 2021 letter with Jonathan and Michael buying up non-controlling shares, I wouldn't be surprised if the Reinsdorfs do own a little bit more than 19% because Jerry owns the controlling shares, but also I believe Michael and Jonathan, once Jerry passes away, their combination of percentages would be over 19%. We're closing in on a break. I do have some more thoughts. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat, and Joey will favorite them, and we'll hit them right after the break. I do want to figure out how many controlling shares there are. We'll get into that, and then we'll also talk about Colson Montgomery's back, and Kevin Durant. He's not a Sox fan, but we'll talk about it. We want to let you know about our friends over at Lucy. Lucy is 100% pure nicotine. Head over to lucy.co and check out their breakers. You can get them in 4 milligrams of strength. You can get them in 8 milligrams of strength. You're buying a 6-pack, folks, but what are the flavors? What are the enticing flavors of these Lucy breakers that have a pouch that bursts hydration into your mouth? They have apple ice. They have mango. They have mint. They have berry citrus. They have espresso. They have apple cider. You can get your own 6-pack of your favorite flavor, or you could try the variety. You could try all flavors, and you'll get one of each flavor. You can get one with 2 apple ice, 2 mango, 2 mint. You can get a 6-pack of 2 with berry citrus, 2 with espresso, and 2 with apple cider. It's your choice. And why continue to go to the gas station and waste time? You're on your way to work. You're going to be late. You're late every single day. Just get it shipped to your door and use our friends over at Lucy. And again, check out their breakers, their nicotine pouches with an extra surprise. Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken, open to release extra flavor and hydration. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/CHGO and use promo code CHGO2025 to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code CHGO2025 to get 20% off your order. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Timeline. Welcome to Timeline. This is my first Timeline ad, Joey, so I'm excited to talk
Good to be here on the Timeline.
About our friends over at Timeline. You can go visit them at, guess what, timeline.com/CHGO. Timeline sells health and longevity supplements featuring their proprietary MitoPure ingredient. MitoPure works with your cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. Benefits include increased strength, energy, and endurance. Timeline has done 15-plus years of research and has secured 30-plus U.S. patents for their products. Go check them out over at timeline.com. But the cells in our body, they're the building block of life, Joey. And look at what evolution has done. I mean, look at all of our building blocks. I mean, we're half plant, we're half, iguana, we're half chimpanzee. I mean, there were Neanderthals. And you know what? Our cells were just better. But Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to help give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and preserve health and mobility as you start to age. MitoPure is the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level. MitoPure is shown to deliver double-digit increases in muscle strength and endurance without a change in exercise, which is a huge win. The huge win of this product of Timeline is MitoPure. So go check them out. Timeline.com/CHGO. Timeline.com/CHGO. You'll get 10% off your order of MitoPure. All right, let's get into the chat here if there's anything else. Oh, hey, Linda Wilkinson saying Colas out with a right wrist sprain. Let's really quick look at that because there are some injuries. Joey, are there any questions specific about Ishbia?
There were some stuff at the top here. Right. I'll let you take a look if you want to pick one, and we can throw it on the screen.
I'll have you read them in a second, but just let's go real quick. If our guy Colas is out with a right wrist sprain, I just want to go through all of the injuries that are currently affecting the White Sox outfield. Austin Slater is currently out to 2 to 3 weeks with, I believe, an oblique injury. Michael A. Taylor needs imaging on his throwing elbow. He apparently should be back by the end of the week, but they're looking at something. Benintendi broke his hand. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks. And the only 2 outfielders, you could add Colas to this, the only 2 outfielders that seem healthy are Luis Robert Jr. and Mike Tauchman. So woo-hoo.
Very chill. Very chill.
Michael L. says, is this actually, do you want to read this, Joey? I can't read this.
Yeah, is this actually the beginning of an ownership change, or is this just business as usual for Jerry from Michael?
No, he's 89. I feel like people aren't understanding that. Cleveland Guardians owner, Jerry, I think, is it Jerry Dolan, or am I thinking of Michael Dolan? I think I'm confusing the Knicks owner.
James Dolan.
But no, that's the Knicks guy.
Oh, right. Different Dolan.
Dolan, who owned the Guardians, just passed away at 94. Jerry is a cigar aficionado. What I've heard from people who have known Jerry for 20 to 30 years, Jerry Reinsdorf is looking his age. I just think that Jerry Reinsdorf sees the writing on the wall. I think that also Jerry Reinsdorf and the Reinsdorfs in general see that baseball interest is just declining. I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be 2 people next to me. The CEO of our company said that our company cares more about the White Sox than the White Sox do, right? Like, I think that Jerry is ready to move on. And if Jerry can, in some way, capture his final dream of building one more ballpark.
Yes.
And giving it the city skyline. And his true pipe dream is to make it to 100 so he can see the 2033 All-Star game. I think he's just looking to secure a future for the White Sox. Go back and read that Cranes article from 2024. I even did an interview with Greg Hines, who did the interview. Jerry was very clear. He said he was looking to build a stadium because that stadium would keep the White Sox in Chicago. They haven't been able to do that at a federal level, and it seems like Jerry wouldn't be able to build it on his own. And then he also said a new owner could possibly move it out of Chicago if that stadium wasn't built. Justin Ishbia seems interested, to maybe even incredibly interested, in building in Chicago. I think that Jerry found a dance partner that he likes. Does he want to dance with him just yet? No. I think Jerry wants to hold on to his toy for a little bit longer. But I think the goal is Justin Ishbia provides capital to help the 78 get built, and then in 3 to 5, if Jerry Reinsdorf's lucky, 10 to 11 years, when he passes, Justin Ishbia will be the majority owner. What is it in? What's in it for Justin Ishbia? I think the foot in the door. I think he wants to own a baseball team, and I think he wants to own a baseball team, and that's in Chicago. I think he would own the Cubs, but the Ricketts don't seem to have any interest in selling. Jerry Reinsdorf, I think Justin Ishbia is playing the waiting game. I'm playing the waiting game with Jerry Reinsdorf as well. Knock on wood, I'm 27, Jerry Reinsdorf's 89. I think I'm going to be able to see Jerry Reinsdorf's funeral. I think Justin Ishbia at 47 is looking and probably saying, I will see Jerry Reinsdorf's funeral. It is weird that people might be patient. And from all reports, it sounds like Matt Ishbia, his brother, is not patient, is very, very, nose to the grindstone, will do anything. I believe as Sam Koppelman said today on 670 The Score, it's move fast and break everything and apologize later for Matt Ishbia. I feel like Justin might just be playing the waiting game and seeing how this develops because he knows that he will live a longer life than Jerry Reinsdorf. So what was the question from Michael again?
The question.
God, I got lost in that.
The question was the beginning of an ownership change.
It is the beginning of an ownership change, is what I am saying. Is it going to happen in a speedy timeline? I don't think so, because I think Jerry Reinsdorf has plans to live long, or at least longer than 89. So I would say that a new owner, at best, like Justin Ishbia being the majority owner, probably happens 3 to 5 years. And if Jerry Reinsdorf's able to live past that, kind of on a year-to-year basis. Well, I mean, it's very similar, and it's not very similar to Virginia McCaskey, but it was very surprising that woman lived to 101 years old. It's very surprising when anyone lives past the average lifespan of 78. So Jerry making it past 89, he's had good health so far, but you never know with older people.
I think you are nailing it on the head when you talk about the 78. And if you look at Jerry Reinsdorf's history, how did he make his wealth? He made it through real estate. So this is starting to feel a little bit like a real estate transaction through the leveraging. And if you also look at it too, is they don't have to fast track this thing. They're going to leverage Ishbia's interest in owning the majority stake of the club by getting the money to build it. And then the Reinsdorfs can still, just the same way Frank McCourt owned the parking lots outside of Dodger Stadium. Yeah. The only way that they got him out of it was they made him sign a lease. He still owns and makes money off of the parking lots every single year, even though he is no longer the owner of the Dodgers. That definitely seems like a path for the Reinsdorfs to continue to make money while also no longer owning the White Sox.
Well, and then also, too, what else are they doing with the Bulls? Another real estate play. They're doing the 1901 project. Right. It seems like they're trying to build something that would gain revenue for hundreds of years. I don't know how old Michael is, but I think he's around Justin Ishbia's age, possibly a little bit older. But Michael's trying to build out his own portfolio of wealth off of the Bulls and the White Sox. I think it's leading to ownership change, and it's really dependent on Jerry Reinsdorf's life. To be as frank as possible. And Jerry Reinsdorf also said in the Cranes piece was that when he dies and his sons are, going to sell the team, you don't know who that seller or who that buyer is going to be. And that buyer could have interests outside of Chicago. I think what Jerry secured was an owner with capital. Justin Ishbia is not short of cash, And I think he found an owner that wants to keep the team in Chicago, that would be interested in a real estate play. This is very good things for the Chicago White Sox. Hopefully they don't need a new manager. Like, that's where Jerry really gets slippery. And I know people want to see more money. Max L saying, can we just sign Verdugo already? No, they're not spending on this team specifically. 2025, they're not spending over $5 million on a player. They have not done that yet. I just think that, you just got to give it a little bit more time. Melissa says the Twins twist is interesting, though. If he wanted a baseball team, why not buy the Twins? Respectfully, Melissa, the White Sox are in Illinois. The Twins are in Minneapolis. The Twins are in, or Minnesota. The Twins are in Minneapolis. The White Sox are in Chicago. I think with his $77 million lakefront complex that he's building out in Winnetka, he wants to build a home and life in Chicago.
And very quickly also, if you've ever been to a Twins game before, it's located in their downtown metropolis, which is actually this really great spot with a bunch of bars and stuff, but you can't build around it, and you cannot increase your property or equity or create 10 to 15 different leases of different places that can shop your wares and live on your property the way that the White Sox can offer with the 78.
Right. And Leonard saying, as soon as the Bears finalize their stadium in Arlington Heights and get the money figured out, the Sox stadium will get worked out. City has to replace the Bears leaving the lakefront. Is it going to be the 78? That's my big question. If they're leaving the lakefront, will the Sox try to build on the lakefront? Because that's not the 78. That's something completely new, and we're going to have to get new, horrible, terrible AI mock-ups. So, woohoo. Yeah, Braden looks legit so far. But again, it's less than 20 at-bats in spring training. I'm excited, and I think I had Montgomery 6th on my prospect list. If he's top 3 at the end of the year, I would not be surprised. I think it'd be tough to probably beat out Hagen and Noah, but if he's hitting like crazy, it's possible that he could be the number 1 prospect, especially with the way that Colson's looking. All right, anything else look interesting in the comments? Pump is not Hump says, what if he buys other holders' shares and acquire control that way and take over, so to speak? Again, he can acquire, I think, 99% of the business. It's just controlling stakes that he needs. And I don't think anyone but Jerry Reinsdorf owns controlling stakes. I think when they created the franchise in 1981, Jerry Reinsdorf had controlling stakes and Eddie Einhorn had controlling stakes. And then they had a board along with them that allowed those people to have non-controlling shares, but still a say in what the White Sox were doing. I don't think anyone else owns controlling stakes of the White Sox besides Reinsdorf family members. Especially, I think it's all just Jerry. I don't even think Michael or Jonathan has anything in it. Louis says, can we get pictures of this $77 million complex he's building? No, he can't build it. That's the thing. It's just like flat land. He bought, a $16 million mansion. He bought a $22 million mansion. And then on top of that, he bought like $50 million in land. So there's just like a ton of space in Winnetka that's just like empty because he's waiting to get approval to build on it. Anyways, what else? There's one more that you favorited there, Joe.
This came at the top of the episode. I just thought Ian was really excited for this episode today, as he should. Scoop Sanderson, but also any numbers that you could possibly give out.
Oh, like percent. Oh, yeah. Like, so I don't know numbers. Yeah. Jerry Reinsdorf is not saying any specific numbers. He owns more than 19%. But at the end of the day, I don't even think the numbers matter. I think it's possible that Ishbia is going to be purchasing 25%. So if you want to figure out, 25% of shares at a $1.8 billion valuation, I think off the top of my head, and I'm terrible at math, like 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, something like that.
We'll get our team on
probably
that
even a little less than that, than 500 million. I think it's in the 300 million range. But yeah, no, like he's going to be spending money to purchase those non-controlling shares. But like the whole meat and potatoes of it have not happened yet. First of all, this has to be approved for him to even gain the non-controlling shares. But then at the end of the day, Jerry Reinsdorf has to sell his controlling shares. Final stuff here, as it seems like we're wrapping up on the ownership talk. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. If you're not a diehard, I did share this with our folks in the Discord as well. So you can go sign up, scan that QR code. You get a free shirt of your choice when you sign up. You also get access to our diehard Discord, and you get exclusive content on allchgo.com. Colson Montgomery was supposed to play in a backfields game, according to Elijah Evans, but about an hour before the game started, Colson was scratched. The last time that Colson Montgomery has played baseball February 27th. It is March 6th. 9 days and counting. The White Sox options at shortstop are not interesting. Jacob Amaya is swinging and missing a ton. Brooks Baldwin is more of a utility player than a true shortstop. Along with that, Mydroth's more of a second baseman than a shortstop. Very, very short. Very, very little. Dino arms. I don't think he has the range to play shortstop, which leaves Colson Montgomery, who is injured and dealing with back spasms. I don't understand how a 23-year-old who's only played 3 games after having a complete winter off needs 9 days off. I think this seems a lot more serious than they are leading on. I don't think this kid's day-to-day because he's been day-to-day for 9 days. I'm concerned about Colson Montgomery, and I do not think he's going to be the opening day shortstop for the 2025 White Sox. I think he'll get the chance to start opening day with Charlotte and maybe play his way onto the team by June, but he'll A, have to be healthy, and B, have to produce at Charlotte. I think right now, Jacob Amaya is your starting shortstop, and that's ugly. Did you see the top 7 players of the Chicago White Sox for MLB The Show? Penn Murphy's 2. Luis Robert Jr., 78 overall. Penn Murphy at 2 with a 77. 7th on that list, Mike Clevenger, 73.
Are they also offering
the guy that has not pitched as a closer since college?
Where's that water fountain where you wash out your eyes after that clip?
Oh, I skipped the water fountain. I just use what's it called?
Hot sauce?
No, alcohol. What's the hydro?
Oh, hydrogen peroxide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just really clean them. Anyways, any final questions here? Yeah. Oh, Kevin Durant also. Is he a Sox fan or not? Max L says he's going to play this weekend, according to Chuck. Again, they were saying he's day-to-day every single day. I would love to see him play. I'm not rooting against Colson Montgomery. I would just love to see it. I'm just concerned. As Melissa says, this is his second go-around with back issues. 2023 was an issue as well. I think he missed like 1.5 months. I'm just concerned that he won't be able to be healthy enough to prove that he's major league ready. That's what it is. He hasn't proven in his 7 at-bats so far that he's major league ready. And if he's not playing, he might not get the chance to prove that he's major league ready. We'll have to see. Melissa already said that. Alex said, I want to say that there can't be anyone worse than Jerry. We all thought anyone would be better than La Russa, too. And that's very true. All right. Final one. Kevin Durant. Let's go to the pictures here. Is Kevin Durant a Sox fan? Dominic Cotronio had this picture. He works for the Brewers radio. He said, Kevin Durant hanging out with some teammates watching the White Sox Brewers. Big baseball guy. And then people were spreading around, oh, Kevin Durant's a huge White Sox fan. Even Justin Dunn, White Sox pitcher, saying that Kevin Durant loves the Chicago White Sox, that he's constantly wearing that hat, the black and white White Sox hat, and that KD's hat is so dirty that he needs a new one, and apparently KD wants a Southside jersey. Kevin Durant makes $50 million a year. That guy can buy a $125 off Fanatics jersey off Fanatics. He could probably ask Michael Rubenstein, who he's been at the white party with, for one.
Another Ishbia connection.
Yeah,
Connect the dots.
And that's the thing that people were like, ugh. Kevin Durant's there because Justin Ishbia wanted him to show up for a spring training game. No, the actual context is Ryan Dunn is a Phoenix Sun. Justin Dunn is a Chicago White Sox. They are brothers. So Ryan, the Phoenix Sun, pulled up with his teammates and watched Justin Dunn, his brother, pitch in a spring training game. And once, Kevin Durant, who's very, very active on Twitter, was asked, are you a baseball fan? Or are you a Nationals fan, pretty much? And he said, yes, because he's from D.C.
The D.C. area.
Which is why he's a
baseball fan.
A Nationals fan.
And also a big baseball guy because he's 6'11".
Yes. Well, apparently there are some stats from his high school baseball days that are pretty ugly for Kevin Durant. I think there is a reason he picked
let's be real. His throwing motion and his swing are probably not.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing with Noah Schultz is, when you're 6'10", it's real tough to control all those levers and to repeat those motions. So, that's why what makes baseball difficult is all the ability to control.
Now, Chase Mydroth, though, way easier.
Yeah,
compact.
Thank you for watching the CHGO White Sox podcast. I think I explained what I needed to. Everyone told me this was a big show, so that didn't make me nervous or make me feel any pressure at all. Hopefully I lived up to the hype and did my job. If you think I did my job, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We'll be back on Monday at 4 p.m. Thank you to Joey Christopoulos for producing the show, and thank you to everyone for hanging out with us in the live chat. I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.